Dell, show him the vision.
Um, I'm not sure. I mean, I can.
What vision?
So I don't know how much Janice told you. I would talk to her yesterday. I had some vision um, that involved her actually. Did she mention it at all to you?
She mentioned that you had foreseen her death, and that we must take measures to look for the intruder who broke into her quarters yesterday.
Is that the whole reason we're on lockdown right now?
Yes?
Okay. Um, so I've
Kaz is looking at Lexa.
had some other visions that I've been trying to work through to figure out what exactly is going to be going on here. Um, it looks to me that the ship is going to be compromised in some way, and it's going to be tomorrow.
Well, it appears as though the ship has already been compromised. Knight Ellis's quarters were broken into, and the Dark Artifact was destroyed. And our security cams were hacked, and it's possible that our reactor core was tampered with.
Yeah, what we heard about that? What happened with the reactor core?
I'm not quite sure. Emma's looking into it, but we've been getting some strange power fluctuations that have been shorting out some of our long and short range sensors and other things aboard the ship.
When
I
did
used to work
when
on
did
a
that
ship.
start?
Maybe I could help.
It started shortly before we initiated the lockdown.
Okay, well, I can share the visions with you so you can see them for yourself. But basically, it looks like there's going to be some form of takeover on the ship, and your wife is going to be held hostage at some point, and pretty much looks like executed. But it's very unclear, and we can't see who's doing it.
Okay, well, how does this work? You just show me the vision? What do I have to do?
You don't have to do anything. Just don't try and fight me when I start trying to give it to you. It might feel fairly strange.
Okay. So you show him the vision. And he's been standing up, but like during the vision, he sort of sits down really abruptly into his chair. Like he's really disoriented. And he says, well, that is quite an interesting experience. I don't have a lot of experience with the Force, and I've definitely never seen a vision before. That was quite interesting. And now I guess I see why Knight Ellis is so frazzled.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure that her activities are necessarily Jedi-like, but I can understand her concern.
So I'm still a little bit confused as to what this has to do with Emma. I didn't see her in the vision.
Oh, did you only? Oh, I meant show him the other one too. I've had a couple separate visions that seem to be interconnected.
Wait, which one?
Oh, never mind. No, she's not in it. Never mind. You're right. She was never actually in it.
No, remember the reason we thought it was his wife was because
You're
of
right.
Elon's scream.
You're right. Okay, yeah. So in the vision, all of us up here, and Elon screams the loudest, and Elon's fiance looks, well, remarkably similar. So it would make sense that he would be yelling the loudest if it was her.
Remarkably similar is putting an understatement to it.
Remarkably
That is
identical.
Do you want to see the vision of the one who looks like her?
So the Admiral is very confused, and he's like, so you're saying the reason that you think my wife is in danger is because Elon is yelling about a woman's death, and you think that he has feelings for my wife? So he's upset more than everyone else? He's
it's
staring at Elon.
Look, Alon has been having trouble dissociating the fact that they are different people at the moment,
I see.
and the
And
fact
then
that he
because
thought
it's like
that she
because
was
it's like
dead.
right before he saw your wife for the first time, he saw this, and then vision.
Another vision?
Yes.
A vision of what?
Remember when I far saw Elon's fiance or ex-fiance or supposedly dead fiance?
But this is the Admiral asking you a vision of what?
No,
Did we? Who were you saying that to?
I was saying that to you out of character.
Okay,
As
yeah,
what
I remember
Kataz
that.
is trying to do.
Oh, you want to show him that vision?
Yes.
Do you tell him that you're going to show it to him, or do you just show it to him?
It sounded like he was
What
just
do you
showing it to him.
think?
That's what it sounded
Because
like.
he was just like, oh, right before we saw your wife, he saw this. Boom.
What did it sound like?
That's what it sounded like to me.
Okay. Okay, he is unprepared, so he tries to fight it off, but he still sees it, and he's shaking his head and rubbing his forehead. And he's like, "Can you please not do that?"
Okay.
So there's this other woman who looks like Emma.
Kataz nods.
That's very strange. And the only place this person exists is inside of a vision. I thought that she was dead.
Yeah, so did we. But that the way that sort of thing works, I wouldn't have seen if she were dead. She would have appeared dead. That's as she was when I was looking for her, which was like a day or two ago.
Well, I see that this is quite perplexing, but I don't really think that this has much to do with the issues we're experiencing now. And I'd like to keep Emma as far away from all of this as possible. So is there anything else I can do for you? Or should I have the men escort you back to the quarters?
Two things. You remember the gas in that vision? You should probably try get everyone issued with gas masks or something as a precaution. And also, I know some things about ships, so I'd like to offer my help.
I'm sure my crew is pretty capable and knows things about ships as well.
I know, but one extra person cannot hurt.
Okay, roll persuade. Well, given the fact that we're in a security lockdown, I'd rather leave it in the hands of my crew. But thank you for the offer.
Okay, something else. Well, if the ship is compromised with Sith, as my vision suggests, whatever's going to happen is going to happen tomorrow. There's that sensitive data that we picked up on the asteroid that's now sitting on your computers.
What makes you think that this has something to do with the Sith?
And if it has anything to do with anyone, it's probably the Sith. Let's be realistic here.
Well, that is a point well taken. I was just curious. We don't have any definitive proof, but
No,
continue.
No. But I know the Sith are looking for the data that we stole because we took that because we destroyed the crystal and they want to know how to remake it. And that's what I think might be on that data that we haven't finished decrypting yet. But my point is that we can't let it fall into Sith hands. And I'm concerned that it being on the ship's computer systems might be dangerous.
That reminds me. When do you think we'll be exiting hyperspace? Because if that's tomorrow, then that seems an oddly unpleasant coincidence.
He looks at you. He's like, wait, what do you mean exiting hyperspace? We are out of hyperspace.
Oh, then we're in Sith space already.
Yes, we're back in system. That's why we need all of our sensors to be fully operational. I'm sorry, Mr. Fiend. Did you ask me another question?
Yeah, I was discussing the sensitive material that's now on your server.
Yes. So what do you want to do about that? I think it is useful information, I'm sure. Or at least Captain Pearson tells me it is.
I think it could be as well, but I also think that there should be some sort of protocol put in place to erase it if the ship is compromised more fully.
Well, we already have protocols in place to erase all of our data. I can't imagine that all of our Republic security codes are any less important to the Sith than the contents of that archaic data file. So if that's all you're worried about, you don't need to fear. We have systems in place.
So kind of just size.
Well, is there anything else I can do for you? Or else I'll be getting back to the bridge now.
One little thing that may not be related, but it could be at the same time. What convinced you to come pick us up from the asteroid?
Oh, I thought it was obvious. Didn't I tell you already?
I seem to have forgotten. It's been a rough couple of days. As you can imagine, these particular visions have hit me fairly hard.
Well, like I said last time, it was really the points that my wife Emma made. And like as he says Emma, he like looks at Alon. He like looks back at everybody else. And he said, I was really focused on our mission, but she convinced me that it was the right thing to do to not leave some innocent Republic citizens to die. I guess you could say it was a little bit of a guilt trip. He sort of like chuckles. And I decided I just couldn't live with that on my conscience. We're trying to help the Republic, so we should be helping its citizens as well. Although I guess the higher-ups didn't necessarily agree, seeing as I got reprimanded with their message today that arrived.
Well, thank you again, sir, for at least humoring us. You have a good day.
Well, hold on a second. So you said your engineers are having troubles finding out what's causing the reactor problems, right?
They're looking into it, yes.
They haven't found anything?
Unless they found something in the past 10 minutes. No.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out why you wouldn't want to have at least a couple more eyes to look at the problem. It doesn't really seem to make much sense to me, but I guess you're the captain.
Well, I have an entire crew trained to work specifically with this vessel and have been doing so for years. Why would I need some random mechanic who's been on my ship for 2 days to look at it and find something the rest of my crew missed? I trust my crew to do their jobs. Unless
not-
you
do
have
I not
like
get a
a
I
doctor?
once
doctor
drained the
in
power out of
reactor
the entire
over-
Sith capital.
What was that? You want to make a persuade roll?
Maybe.
Okay.
Wait, who, what?
Me, I wanted to. Oh yeah, no, that's not good.
Sometimes it is only with a fresh pair of eyes can you see something plain in front of you.
Okay, do you want to make a persuade roll?
Super unpersuasive.
I don't know, maybe I can use the mentioning me draining a Sith ship of energy as some persuasive tool and make a roll.
Okay, so what exactly do you want to say
No,
about
that's
that?
bad. No, don't, no. No.
I already said it.
Oh,
Oh.
okay, you said that in character.
I mean, yeah, that was in character.
Okay. He just looks at you, and he's like, wait, did I hear that correctly? You're like a walking reactor drainer siphon thing? That doesn't sound good.
No,
but you
no,
stay
it's
away
only
from
if
the
I
reactor.
wanted to.
Let's not get anywhere near the reactor, thank you. I'd like my ship to have full
I
working power.
make something nearby float. See, I have to want it to do that.
I don't see how draining all the power out of a reactor qualifies you to diagnose the errors with my reactor.
I can look for similar weird things.
Similar weird things. Do you think there's a Sith on board draining power from the reactor?
I do not know. Especially, I mean, we did have a shuttle going back and forth between that place.
Okay, for that part, you can make another persuade roll.
Wait, that gets a high roll? Really?
He's like, yeah, I don't know. That still sounds questionable to me. Maybe I'll think about it some more. I'm sure that Emma will find the problem sooner or later, and then we won't have to worry about it anymore. But I guess
Yeah,
we'll just
sooner
have
or
you all...
later we kind of have a time limit if the visions are correct, and they tend to be.
But, correct me if I'm wrong, we have no way of knowing which course of action leads to the events in that vision. All we've known for sure is that I should order my crew to wear gas masks. That's about all I've taken away from this.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing we know for certain.
But why does that lead to not accepting our help? I mean, if we're the ones warning you about this stuff, every bit of help can't hurt, unless, I mean, you still suspect us or something.
Well, very strange things have been happening since we visited that asteroid, including an unknown infiltrator aboard the ship, tied, however loosely, to the presence of Lexa. And
Because
you yourself
Thraps
admitted to
Lexa
the ability to
on the shin
drain
with
power
his
from
staff
reactors.
stealthily.
So, I'm not saying we don't trust you. I'm just saying that the entire crew is on lockdown, and I would appreciate it if you would also remain that way.
Well, in that case, sir, you can take this particular mission and shove it. You're not protecting your wife. I'm getting out of here. You can put me on lockdown if you want. You don't want my protection, fine. Goodbye. And Aelon just walks towards the exit.
Okay, that just happened.
Okay, the
I
admiral
follow.
just presses a button and then stands there. And the guards like come out of this corridor, Aelon, to just like start walking with you down the hallway.
Picaz follows behind the guards.
Okay, does Dell leave as well?
Hold on a second.
Okay, because that's actually a
Whoa.
very strange room to be. I've never been in this room.
That's the elevator.
Oh, but if Dell doesn't leave, then Picaz is gonna look back and be like waiting to see what he does or says.
Like waiting like in the hallway.
Yeah, like halfway down when he turns
Okay,
and
while the
realizes
guard
Dell
stays
isn't coming.
with you. Do you perhaps wish to search your feelings?
Yeah, that would probably be good. Ugh. That's just like a ridiculously terrible roll, but it beats 15, so.
Do you have expanded horizons?
Yeah, so I can see 1 hour. Which is not super helpful in this scenario since we think it's going to happen tomorrow.
Well, if you use the force point, you can expand it to 8 hours.
You're right. You're right. You know what? I'm going to do that.
Okay. So it's probably about like 1 probably like 1 p.m. right now. Because it took you guys a while to like get a hold of the admiral and everything. So 8 hours would be like till 9 p.m. tonight. Okay, yeah, so you you think that you get a sense that obviously it would be beneficial for you all to be able to move around the ship and investigate things further if the lockdown was removed. Otherwise, there are some vague possibilities of random futures where it's possible you try to sneak out and get caught if you try to evade the lockdown, and then bad things happen.
Alright, trying to sneak out, that's an if. That's a
Definitely
when.
gonna That's like 3 seconds from now for Picasso.
Well, 3 seconds from now, player time, like 10 minutes from now, in game time.
Yeah, so we'll just turn to Picasso. Picasso, I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Picaz shrugs. And just so you're aware, the moment the guards turn around to leave the door, I'm going to stealth and try to follow them out the door before it closes when they take us back and put us in the room.
Okay, you're talking about the crew quarters door or the
Yeah,
elevator?
when we get
Okay,
back there,
okay.
that's immediately what Picaz is going to do.
Okay. Well, we'll do that right now.
No. Wait,
So-
but what if I have enough fast enough conversation that I can tell them not to do anything stupid?
Okay, fine.
Actually, that
Well-
probably wouldn't happen. It'd probably take a while for this conversation.
Yeah. Okay, so they like,
Setting that aside, Picaz wouldn't think it's stupid.
and they open the door, and they watch you guys walk through. And so, can you describe what you want to do, Picasso?
So, like, do they walk us in and then leave?
No,
Or
they
do-
stand by the door and open it.
So like, I sort of want to sneak behind someone and make it look like I was headed into like our section over here,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't see me because like Lexa and Elon, and then go invisible and then run out the door.
Okay, so you can make a stealth check, or 2 because you have a stealth field generator.
This is where being really short and handy.
Yep, I will take that 28. Not
Okay,
what I
but
expected.
you also have to like go in there, then activate your stealth field generator, and then like run back before they close the door. So, either make like an acrobatics check or like a dex roll to see if you can make it back through the doors before they close. Okay, so as you like run back, you sort of like, you can tell that the doors are probably like gonna close like before you can get there. Do you want to try to like hold them open a little bit with the force?
Sure.
Why are you giving him ideas?
Because he wants a while Picard's running invisible on the ship, so that when I'm talking about how we don't have an intruder, they're like, "We found an intruder." That's exactly why he wants to. No, don't do it. It's a DM trap. It's a trap.
I like how
Yes,
you just
but I
switched
need-
over to the Admiral Akbar voice for the second one.
I'm just hoping I roll really well, like when all those nat 20s on the door to try and break through it. And all his plans are ruined.
You know, the irony here is he's doing the exact same thing he put me under the bus for.
Should I use the
Except-
force?
Yeah, both of you like you see Picasso turn invisible.
Oh yeah, I'm not
because-
hiding it from them.
Yeah, because he like ducks behind you out of their line of sight and then turns invisible. So you just notice that Picasso just like vanishes.
You hear the
Oh,
soft
that's-
patting of his feet, muffled by
Oh,
the
yeah.
stealth field generator as he runs by you.
Oh, yeah, no problem. When you walk in front of Aelon or dash in front of Aelon, he kind of fluffs his coat a little bit, make a little noise, it just kind of looks like he's readjusting his coat or something.
Lexa doesn't help you at all. She just goes, as she's walking in.
So tempted to trip you.
Bring it. Bring it.
Oh great! Intel leaves for 3 seconds and things just all fall apart.
Okay, what is Picasso doing?
You want me to make you use the force check for holding the doors open a little bit?
If that's what you want to do. Yeah, so you like gently like reach out and like stop the doors from closing, like, and you like slip through. Yeah, and the guards are just like, and then they're like, okay.
Yeah, close a little bit slow. Oh well.
Yeah, then they walk away.
Need to get maintenance down here on this door.
As Lexa walks in past Aelin, she just goes, I wish I never gave him the map.
I was
What
just
a-
gonna comment that because it's now free and visible on the ship with a complete map of it.
It would have made things so much difficult for him if he didn't have a map.
I know.
And I got that doing the exact thing that he tattled on me for.
Uh, you broke into someone's quarters and destroyed something.
You're not here.
This is out of character. This is out of character.
Because it's just whispering, you just thought I went out the door. I was actually just waiting you to see what you were going to say about me.
Out of character, Picas's hypocrisy is positively indefensible.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so we will go back to
Yeah, try
Del.
explaining that to him. And then, go to the med bay for some headache medicine.
Okay, so Del is talking with the Admiral. You just told Picas that you'd be there in a few minutes. And then the Admiral looks at you quizzically.
Be right back a second.
Yeah, it's about what the lockdown.
Yes, what about it?
So, yesterday, well, basically what happened was we suspected Lexa and we went to go confront her, which I kind of wanted to do quietly, but it seemed like Jaina was not having that. I thought she deserved, well, it's a Sith artifact, so I figured, it's destroyed, no harm, no foul. I thought she just deserved an opportunity to explain it to us, without threat of being thrown in, in the brig.
He looks at you. And he's like, and what was I? I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. In order to give her that opportunity to explain it to us, I removed some fragments of the artifact off of her before she got to testing. He narrows his eyes. Wait, you removed the artifact's dust off of her before the test, which would imply that she was the one who destroyed it. Yeah, I wanted an explanation from her willingly. She does not do well under threats. I knew that if I got her to feel safe again, that she would eventually open up about why she did it. Otherwise, we would get nothing. I don't care why she did it. I just care who did it. So do you think that you have the right to interfere with our investigation and hide this from us? I just think she deserves the right to explain herself. But she does not, as I said before, she has not responded well. Well, of course she deserves the right to explain herself. Once we found out that it was her, she would have had all the time in the world to explain why she did it. And she would have said nothing. Well, if she's not going to exercise the right to explain herself, it doesn't matter whether or not she deserves it. Look, I did not think that the entire ship was going to be put on lockdown like this. I think that with the impending threat, it might not be a bad idea to have. So you're saying that you didn't think the ship should go into lockdown, even though you're telling me that crazy stuff is happening and that we should all wear gas masks and that my ship's going to be attacked and that the Sith are going to steal the data and that Jaina is going to die. But you think that we shouldn't lock down the ship because we thought there was a person on board who breaks into quarters and destroys Sith artifacts and can hack our security cameras. When it sounds like your party is more than capable of disabling and crippling my entire ship. That makes no sense whatsoever.
we're trying to talk to you. If we could do all that from the ship, you're right. We
So
probably
if
could
you were
just...
in my position, you wouldn't have initiated a lockdown when you had an unknown intruder in the ship.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you made the wrong call about making
That's
a
what you
lockdown.
just said.
No, I'm saying that we have no evidence that there is another intruder right now. I'm concerned that we're focusing energy on looking inside the ship when the threat could be outside the ship right now. That's what I'm saying.
So you're saying that your vision has nothing to do with Lexa Scarlet breaking into Jaina Ellis's quarters and destroying that artifact?
As far as I can tell, no. There's nothing to do with it.
Was Lexa also the one who was tampering with our reactor power core?
No, I don't know what's going on with the reactor core at all.
Well, it seems like there may be another intruder on board after all, then. He takes a breath. He's like, well, I'm very glad that you told this to me, Mr. Fearn. Now we can stop wasting resources on searching for an enemy who may not exist, at least in that capacity. But the ship is still in apparently grave danger. So...
Yeah, I agree with that. I just wanted to... I know that you were at least devoting some things to try and figure out how your security cameras were hacked, and other things, probably, so I felt like, yeah, saving resources is the smart play here. And look, my team may not be exactly Republic regimented, but we do honestly want to help, and I think we can help.
Yes, it is clear that you have helped us out quite a bit.
Hey, without me, you wouldn't even know anything was coming.
Well, is something coming?
Unless we do something to stop it, it is coming.
Okay, roll persuade.
Can I also say, before and it's like, and you said yourself, the reactor core is acting funny, so there's obviously something going on.
Well, something is going on, of that I am certain. And apparently, I also think that you can help me figure out what that something is. So, in your grand plan to not threaten Lexa so that she would tell you why she did it, why did she do it?
I think, well, she's been having difficulties with the Force in general, but the dark side, and we spent so much time on the asteroid. She couldn't stand the thought of another Sith artifact being on board. She had to destroy it, and she feared the consequences, which is why she didn't say anything about it.
Okay, can you roll deception, please? Since that's not exactly the truth.
I mean, but like the voices inside her head are still like her, like the compulsions are still her. So like, from Dell's perspective, that's not actually lying.
Is leaving stuff out deception?
Leaving stuff out
Yes,
is
leaving
no,
stuff out is deception.
No,
You're
it's
leaving
not.
it out purposely to deceive him by not telling him the whole truth.
Obi-Wan.
That's not. But it's nothing is not true.
I have to side with the GM. He's right.
Deception
Oh.
doesn't mean lying, it means deceiving. You can deceive someone by leaving out something that's not true.
Nice try, Obi-Wan.
From a certain
Yeah,
point
if
of
you're
view.
trying to trick someone.
Okay. So he says, well, I guess that was Well, I guess this whole situation is rather regrettable because now we have no idea what that Sith artifact was and how it may or may not be related to any of the problems we are now experiencing on this ship. And then he just sighs. And now I have to somehow tell Jaina that we need to lift the lockdown and that Lexa was the one who was involved. I feel like Lexa should still be punished for this.
Like, that doesn't really accomplish anything at the moment.
Does the opposite accomplish something?
Look, she could be useful. She's useful in fights. She's useful. So if we are, caught off guard tomorrow, she can be useful in the situation. Having her locked up in that brig is not going to be helpful at all.
Can you guarantee me that her not being locked up in the brig doesn't contribute to the consequences of your vision?
Sorry, that's an out of character element. Yes, I'll keep an eye on her and make sure she doesn't do anything if that's what you're worried about.
I seem to recall in the vision hearing Lexa's voice. So in your vision she was there. So if we lock her up, it's possible that we will change the outcome of events in which she's not there, and perhaps the vision will occur differently.
Yeah, the only thing that will change is that she won't be there.
But how do you know that's the only thing that will change?
Well, we don't, but we also don't know that she was broken out of the brig by us to try and help after the situation was bad, and she could have prevented it. So you can't try and logic your way out of changing something in order to change the future, because you don't know whether or not in that vision you decided to keep her locked up, like to lock her up or to not lock her up. You don't know which course of action that the vision is
He
predicated
starts
upon.
vigorously rubbing his temples. He's like, wow, visions are not very useful, are they?
No. Except
So
for
how do
general
I
sense.
know that telling everyone to wear gas masks isn't going to make everything worse?
That one, I don't think that will make anything worse.
Because
It's a sensible precaution rather
Because
than...
in the vision,
locking up a
like,
known infiltrator of people's rooms?
she had a specific reason for going in there. She's not some sort of kleptomaniac.
Okay, make another persuade roll specifically about this.
I'm on
Wow.
fire.
Dell is carrying the party right now. Okay.
Well,
he
partially
says-
getting us into it.
He said he just he's like fine, she won't go to the brig. I don't know what I'm gonna say to Jaina. I'm assuming the vision is still that she's going to die, so any help that you could provide in figuring out how to avoid this catastrophe for my ship, I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, can you, like, the cause might seem kind of odd, but having him take a look at the engine's reactor might not be a bad idea. And
And then
there is
again,
somebody,
it might be a terrible idea.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he drains all the power out of the reactor.
he's not going to do that.
Did you hear what he was saying earlier?
He can do that, which means he knows how it's done, which means he can potentially fix the problems.
Okay, fine. Another persuade roll. You can get a +2 because he's listening to you on other things. He just waves his hand. Fine, the kill can look at it. I mean, they are pretty handy after all. Now, is that at the end of your requests?
I think that's it. I'll
I think you
meditate and
broke
see if we
him.
can find anything else, and I'll let you know.
Can you ask him
Okay.
for a pony and a plastic rocket and a plastic rifle and a unicorn?
Yeah, I was
while
going to go looking for
I wanted to
for one
control
of
the
those
ship
compact
now.
computers. I could use one. You could ask him for one of those too.
While we're at it, I could use 3 scatter guns and enough ammo to take care of it
Oh, and we
for
need a new ship.
500 days.
We need a new
A,
ship. Ask him if we can have this one.
yeah, a Millennium Falcon style or Millennium Falcon class ship. Um,
I know,
You
we'll
know.
just take this one. We have a nice cruiser and a full crew.
no, because we need to go back down to something smaller because we don't need to pay everybody on the ship.
Yeah, the
Also, if you
Republic
could
does
promote
that.
us-
That's not us.
If you could promote us to a few, officer places and get some key cards to every part of the ship, that would be helpful too.
Yeah,
The
I
robot
full
gave me a
security
box of
access.
Band-Aids, I'm set.
Alright, so can we finish this conversation? It's getting kind of late. So,
Some
that means
NyQuil,
music
maybe?
is back.
That was basically the end of your conversation, unless you had more to ask him. He sort of
No, I
was
was just
dismissing
gonna
you.
head out, but then I'm gonna calm everyone and tell them what happened so that they're aware of it before I get back.
That's good. You're
Okay.
only 7 hours late on your call to me.
There's another guard who came by to escort you back.
Yeah, so I'll just be like, looks like the lockdown might be lifted or not, but Lexa, he knows, but you're okay. I convinced him not to put you in the brig. And because you've been given clearance to check out the engines, the reactor.
I are way ahead of you.
Wait, you're saying
That's-
this over the comms?
Yeah,
Because,
he's saying over the
because, yeah, I would suggest whatever you're doing, just to, chill out until they can get people to actually escort you.
Well, the question
Okay.
is, how far away am I from the from the quarters at this point?
However far you got during that whole conversation,
That's why I'm
part of
asking
it was
the
while you
GM.
were walking back. Well, the elevator is like right onto that corridor. So, yeah, by this time you could be on the turbo lift going down to the engineering deck. Because it's also right at the end of that other hallway. So, you're on the engineering deck right now.
The elevator button's depressed back to the level where he should be.
Okay, so you go back up.
Yeah, and when someone opens the door, I'm gonna run in and run into our walled off area and unclose.
Okay, as
Good,
you
that was
come back
fast.
up, you see Dell and the guard walking back. Then the guard drops off Dell, and then he walks inside. And he says, "So I'm supposed to be taking Mr. Picaz to inspect the engine room."
Yeah, so
Can you
like I
please follow
followed
me?
him in and hightailed it into the room and uncloaked.
Okay, so then you come back out. And you say
Yes, yes. I'm
He says-
surprised.
Okay, just follow me.
I'm
sir."
breathing a little bit heavily.
So he goes off to escort you down to the engine room. Okay, so I think we're going to call it a night there.
I didn't even have to Jedi mind trick him at all. It was great.
You broke him with all of the causality and the
Yep, I did.
Things and the-
Yep.
visions and the force weirdness and the yeah.
For a moment, you turned into Doctor Who, and everyone was perplexed.
Yep.
Just explain the timey-wimey stuff away.
No wibbly wobbly. No timing. We're not using that explanation because that would be sad.
I mean, this that's the look he gave you. Like, Doctor what? Who?
Right, so Picaz did what you wanted?
Yeah, you didn't
Yeah, you
go.
went back.
Yeah, you went back. You didn't go out onto the rest of the ship. Sneaking around.
I mean, that's easier.
You also never did call John.
Yeah, I know. Well, there was not we were in conversations, and then I didn't really have anything to say, and I didn't realize that much time had elapsed because I was supposed to call him in an hour, but then all of a sudden it was like, oh, now it's 1 o'clock. So
Yeah, the hour passed before you had even heard back from the Admiral. Because you guys were just sitting in there after Elon called.
5
Well,
hours later.
we were
What's her
waiting
face? They
for
never responded.
for Emma to respond, but she never did. So
5 hours later, John's like, "Well, they're dead."
Yeah, we can retcon that you actually did call him because you
Yeah, I
literally
would
weren't
have
doing
if I
anything
would
else.
have if I was just sitting in there for an hour.
Yeah.
I would have just been like, we're still waiting to hear back from people.
Did I learn anything from Bo except how to play this card game?
You learned, yeah. If you want to ask him some other questions, but you learned like that he's been on the ship for a year and a half, and that he likes working with the crew. Was there anything else in particular you wanted to ask him that maybe you did while you were playing or something?
Well, I'm trying to find out about the admiral's wife person specifically. That was
Mhm.
my assignment. So he just
Yeah.
doesn't know anything.
Yeah, so he knows that. Hold on.
She's a good engineer.
He
She's a
knows
civilian.
Yeah, so she joined the crew. Last year. So he was like working on the ship for like half a year before she joined. So he was there when she joined, and she was like, she basically like joined to replace their previous head mechanic, who was just like pretty old, so he was retiring. I guess like while you're playing, he'll tell you like some of like the gossip, because some of the crew like thought it was weird that like she and the admiral fell in love and like got married within like 6 months of her joining the crew. So that there is like some talk about that is a little weird, but like she's a civilian, so like they're like, oh, I guess it's okay for the relationship. So I guess he like sort of like tells you general gossip about that, but he tells you that like she's really nice and he's happy to work for her.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right then. Thank you again for joining us on YouTube. Thank you again. Thank you guys for joining us live, and I hope you guys have a good night and God bless.